At some point in our lives, I'm sure all of us have visited the zoo to view the amazing exotic animals that come from all over the world. We got to spend our day roaming around viewing all the different animals and then got to freely return back home to our normal lives. But for the wildlife there, they are stuck behind iron bars and small display cases, never to return to their homelands or families ever again. Or some of these creatures are born into captivity, never knowing what the outside world is like. 4 walls of a small enclosure are all these animals will ever know for the rest of their lives. Zoos have been around for years. However, many people do not know the frightening truth about them. Animals are taken from their natural environment and forced into captivity solely for entertainment purposes. Their lifestyles and health change drastically when they are in prison like this. If we all band together to abolish zoos, we can accomplish it, and the animals will be able to return back to their homelands. My recent trip to the zoo truly opened my eyes to how miserable the animals were in their enclosures. It really impacted my outlook on zoos, and I want to stand up for what is right for the animals in captivity. Today I will provide you with information to persuade you on why zoos should be banned. And I hope that after my speech today, everyone here can take this stand against zoos. Many people do not realize the inhumane way that zoos obtain their animals. Oftentimes, zoos do not provide the proper care for their animals. They either trade, sell, lend, barter, or warehouse them. According to an article titled, "The Disturbing Truth About Where Zoo Animals Come From," states that not all zoo animals are born where they're exhibited. Others are transported from one zoo to another, and other times, animals are shuffled about for more questionable reasons that disrupt important social bonds. Shockingly, in 2016, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service approved the capture of 18 African elephants from their natural habitat to zoos in Kansas, Nebraska, and Texas. It is even more shocking that the animals born in captivity are only used for a short amount of time until they grow up and are traded between different zoos. An article called "Where Do Zoos Get Their Animals?" says, babies are great crowd pleasers, but when the babies grow up, they don't attract the same number of people. So zoos often sell them off in order to make room for younger animals. The article goes on to explain some disturbing evidence of mistreatment. It states that the unwanted adult animals are sometimes sold to game farms where hunters kill for their meat or their hides. Or other times, surplus animals may be sold to smaller, more poorly run zoos or to laboratories for experiments. It is difficult to process that humans can be so cruel to these helpless animals. When zoo animals are in prison like this, their well-being declines drastically. Animals across the globe have been documented displaying signs of depression and anxiety. This psychological distress in zoos is called zoochosis. Zoochosis may include excessively pacing back and forth, circling, twisting of the neck, or self-mutilation. An article titled "Things We Need to Stop Telling Ourselves About Zoos" says that these traits are largely uncommon amongst healthy and happy animals in the wild. These stressors are triggered by the small enclosures that the zoo animals are trapped in. Zoos cannot provide the sufficient amount of space that the animals have when in the wild. Tigers and lions have about 18,000 times less space in captivity than they would in their homelands. These carnivores do not thrive well in captivity, which makes them die young and unable to reproduce. While elephants in the wild travel for miles and miles a day in large herds with other adults and offspring. But in zoos, they are kept in inadequate living spaces, which decrease their lifespan of 50 to 70 years to 16 to 18 years. Now, I am not blaming the visitors of the zoo for their cruelty of the animals, but they are unknowingly contributing to keeping the zoo doors open. If you as my audience stop attending zoos and spread the word about what I'm informing you about, we can get zoos banned. Visitors are unaware about the negative effects that they have on each species. Just the presence of people can cause major stress on the animals. A study that was conducted showed that the constant presence of unfamiliar people cause a negative impact on the animals. This is because humans' movements, sounds, and smells can negatively affect their welfare. To help prevent these harmful strains on the zoo life, we all must take a pledge to stop visiting zoos. PETA, which is the largest animal rights organization in the world, urges people to help banish zoos. They state that zoos will be forced to stop breeding and imprisoning animals if people stop buying tickets to them. Just having empathy for the wildlife won't get us anywhere. We must take action. If you think you're too busy to help these animals or don't know where to start with helping them, there are many ways online that you can help by just being at home. Signing an online petition to pledge to never go to a zoo again is a great way to start. PETA has an online petition right on their website that looks like this. It is fast and easy to sign, and you are only one click away from saving a life. PETA also has another option where you can do an annual donation of $16 or more, which helps animals in suffering, dying in laboratories, in the circus, or any other forms of entertainment. I hope that in speaking today, I have persuaded you, at least one of you, that your voice matters, and that you can take a stand to banning zoos. The animals need our help to get out of captivity and return to a normal life. This change cannot happen without the help of you.